Hello world, Shelly here, and today I have got a Q&A for you. Several of you have asked for an updated one. It's been a few years since I've done one, so I posted on my YouTube community tab and on Instagram for you to send in questions. I have collected them and I think I've got all of them here. I'm going to try to answer all of them, and I broke them into, which this was a pretty natural separation of questions, makeup and personal, so I'll just go back and forth between the two, and I'm pretty excited. First time I've pulled my hair back since I cut it all off. I don't know why. I was just feeling a mood. So might as well start out with like the introductions. If you're new around here, if you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Shelly. So first question. Now I feel like there's a cat hair on my face, which will go along great with the cat question. I did not write who asked these questions, just for anonymity's sake, and if you want anonymity, I like that word. Need my caffeine. I'm filming this literally like 2 hours before you're going to see it, so hey, this is almost real time. I probably could have just gone live and saved myself the editing hassle. All right. Can we know about your personal life at all? Relationships, family, is your mom living with you? Are you seeing anyone have a partner? So let's just get that all right out of the way. My name is Shelly Hokanson. I am 48 years old. I had to think about that for a second. 48 years old. I live in Harrisonburg, Virginia in the Shenandoah Valley, originally hailed from Chicago. My mom followed me here a couple years ago. I've been here since 2011. And my mom now does live with me, yes. I'm single by choice. No kids, never had any kids, will not be having kids. Family, I have a younger brother who is still back in Chicago. Lots of cousins that I am in touch with. My father passed away in 2000 when I was 25. From acute lymphoblastic leukemia resulting from benzene poisoning on the job. So he is not with us any longer, but he is with me. My tattoo that I got in Ireland this past summer is my dad on my arm, so he is with me always. So yeah, that is kind of the be all end all. Might as well give, let's see, because I'm sure everyone always wants to know what my dating life is like. I'm not dating. I married my job. I married my work, and then I married my dream of entrepreneurship. So all I do is work, and I'm happy that way. So yeah, no one in the picture right now. Oh, for those of you that asked for a cat cameo, 2 of them are locked in here with me as I'm filming this, so you might get one, you might not, but you're gonna hear noises. That's the cats. That's the cats. Alright, did I get all of that? I think I did. Oh, the other question I was getting people that have issues in how they want to word it. Love is love. LGBTQ, friendly, ally, queer myself. So there's that. Let's go to a makeup question. No, you're not playing with plastic bags. No, Ziva. Plastic bags are off the table. No. All right, let's do a makeup question. What made you decide to make YouTube videos? Basically, I had gotten into watching beauty videos on YouTube and noticed that everyone making them was 20 years old with perfect skin and no fine lines, no wrinkles, no dryness, no flaking, no issues whatsoever. Like, the only person that had any issues was Taylor Wynn, formerly Thatela, and she had acne at the time. And I was like, wow, that's like, she is putting it out there, and her skin was completely opposite mine. So her foundation reviews weren't really helpful for my issues, but I completely, absolutely loved and respected that she was putting herself out there and putting out there information that was valuable to other people that had the same concerns that she did. So I thought, there's got to be other people in their 40s plus that no longer have 20-year-old perfect skin, that are dealing with dryness, dealing with wrinkles, sun damage, etc., etc., etc. And I just thought there's got to be other people like me that would like to see how products perform on a regular face, and or a face with the issues that I have. So I started making YouTube videos. That was 6 years ago, a little over 6 years, 6.5 years ago at this point. And I cannot believe I've been on YouTube for 6 years. But yeah, so I did 3 videos a week for my first solid 4 years or so. The 5th year, most of this year, the 6th year, I've been doing 1 to 2 videos a week. I recently got back into doing 3 videos per week the past couple months. I hope to continue doing 3 videos a week. And that is the story of how I started YouTube. Turns out there are others of you that have the same concerns that I do. And here we are. All right, back to the personal. How many cats do you have, and can we see more cat cameos in your videos? I have 4 cats, and they are... I've always had cats. I love cats. Favorite animal. Love all animals. I would probably have a dog if I was home more than I am, but my 4 cats currently... We've got the oldest one is Ziva, who makes the most frequent cameos. A lot of you know her very well. She, in my old apartment, used to sit my background. I had a background light in my old setup, and it was just off camera on this side of the room. And so it would shine onto my storage cabinet, and she would sit on the top of the cabinet, and it would look like she was just sitting in frame in the video, but really her whole goal was to sit under that studio light because it was warm. So she is the oldest. I think she's 9 now. And then I've got Daffy and Polly, who are both adopted from the same rescue up in New York. It's Justin Fire Survivor on Facebook. And they rescue cats off the shelter kill lists that are... They usually have injuries, but they have good temperaments, and they have injuries that need to be repaired or treated, or illnesses, and they do the fundraising to raise money to treat them, and then they get them treated and all fixed up, and then they adopt them out to their forever homes. And so both Polly and Daffy are special needs. Daffy is a tripod, 3-legger. She's also a polydactyl and a female orange cat. You don't see her very much because she can't really jump up on things, so she doesn't really get around at a height where you could see her in my videos. But I do have a video of a day in the life of my cats where I show all of them. Now, that was before cat number 4 currently. You may remember Merlin from my previous videos. He passed away over the pandemic time. He was 18, so he had a very long, wonderful life. He was a ragdoll. He was such an awesome cat. But cat number 4 right now is Charlie, named after Kelly McGillis's character in the original Top Gun, because my original cats were Maverick, Goose, and Merlin. And then I was so sad when Maverick and Goose died that I couldn't continue the Top Gun naming theme, but then I was going to switch to Ziva and Dinozo from NCIS. But, so I got Ziva, but then I thought my next cat would be a boy, and it wasn't. It was Daffy and Polly. And they had so many followers from that rescue on Facebook that I didn't want to change their names, so I kept their names. But then when I got Charlie I rescued actually from... She was dropped in a box with a sign that said free at the farmer's market that I was selling my soaps at. And, yeah, I don't know where she went. She's in here somewhere. She'll be here, I'm sure. And I took her home, and she's mine now. She's the sweetest thing ever, and she's like 7 months old now. So Polly and Daffy are both 7 years old. Ziva's 9. Charlie's 7 months old, and it's funny because when you get a kitten, the first thing I think is like, this is probably the last kitten I'm going to get, because if they live 20 years and I'm almost 50, like, then I'll be like 70, and she'll still be with me, hopefully, knock on wood. And that's probably the last. I can't get another kitten after that. I don't want to die before my cat. Yeah, I'm old enough to start thinking about those things. Anyway, so that's the cats. I don't really control the cameos. Like, if they come near me, like, if Charlie were to walk around here, I would pick her up and show her to you guys. And I've done that a few times, but like Ziva's sitting right off camera here. I don't force them into the videos, but if like Ziva likes to come on my chair and walk around the back, half the time I don't even know that she's there. But you'll have cat cameos whenever the cats are here. I make sure that they are in the videos. They don't always come in here when I'm filming though. All right, back to makeup. What are some products in your current collection that you wish you had when you first got into makeup? I am going to say 100% good brushes because I swear they make such a difference in the application of eyeshadow in particular. Now, I'm not saying they have to be expensive brushes, but most of the time you gotta spend a little money to get the best of the best. However, my favorite foundation brush of life is an e.l.f. brush. It's a $6 e.l.f. brush. So you don't have to spend a ton of money, but all my favorite eyeshadow brushes are good brushes. We're talking, I love the Wayne Goss brushes, of course. My favorite Sigma brush is the E25, and my most recent obsession is the BK Beauty brushes. They're not super expensive, but, you know, they're not $1 either. So I find that investing in a good set of eye brushes especially is game changer for application of eyeshadow. Also, they're going to last longer. Like my $6 e.l.f. foundation brushes, yeah, I get about a year out of them. Then I have to throw them away and buy replacements. Now, I have, you know, a dozen of them at this point because I just buy them whenever I can get them on sale. But because as if $6 isn't cheap enough. I'm one extreme or the other, you guys. I'm either like Pat McGrath $125 eyeshadow palette, or I'm, you know, hoping to get my favorite foundation brush for $4. What can I say? The extremes, the extremes. So yeah, I would say brushes, good brushes would have been an earlier investment had I known better earlier in my life. Okay, back to personal. How did you develop your owl hobby, for lack of a better phrase? So I have been a volunteer, an outreach docent at the Wildlife Center of Virginia for, goodness, I think I started in 2012. I'm probably going on 10 years at this point. The pandemic has just messed up like my whole concept of time because we haven't had much to do with our volunteerism over the lockdown time because the campus was closed and whatnot. But prior to the pandemic, I was frequently working with the Wildlife Center of Virginia to bring, well, basically the mission to teach the world to care for and to care about wildlife and the environment. And as an outreach docent, I had been trained to handle various animals, the snakes, the turtles, and my favorite, the raptors. So the hawks and the owls in particular. I love owls. And, you know, that was just a multi-year process to get eligible for that and to train to do that, and did it for years. We used to go to the Virginia State Fairs with a bunch of birds, and we would do our presentations and teach about the conservation impacts and how we are, you know, we're all interconnected. You know, what we do to our environment and what we do to wildlife and what we do to the world around us comes back into how healthy we can live as humans on this planet. We're all sharing this planet. So I got into it because when I had moved here to Virginia, I was still in process of finishing my Master of Fine Arts degree. And one of our assignments, my MFA is in independent film and photography. So one of our assignments was we had to shoot at a beach or a body of water. And so I was freshly moved here, didn't know where anything was. I looked up Shenandoah Lake. And so I drove to Shenandoah Lake to do my assignment. Took some very cool pictures. Got a really cool butterfly picture that I love. And on my way home, I drove past this tiny little sign. They've got much better signage now than they did back then. But this tiny little sign as I drove past that said Wildlife Center of Virginia. And I was like, oh, what's that? What is that? Got home, looked them up on Facebook. And it turned out that, well, they're a hospital for native Virginia wildlife. And they had an animal release coming up because they rehabilitate. Ziva, you are not going to be making noise with that either. There's a piece of paper packaging that she dug out of a box. Hold on, please. This is why you don't get cat cameos, because I try to lock them out. If they're in here, I'll let them in. But I try to lock them out because they make noise and they interrupt me. So, no, you are not taking that back out. You guys. No. No. So, I went to this release. They were releasing a great horned owl. And it was freaking amazing, putting it back in the wild after they had treated it, after it had been injured and brought to the center. And then I went to another event that they had a couple weeks later. It was a Wings Over Wine Country event. I like wine. I like birds. So I went to this vineyard, and another outreach volunteer at the Wildlife Center, his name's Bill, he was there. And after he had done his presentation he had Gus the barred owl. Rest in peace, she just passed away this past week. She was 28 years old. She was a fantastic bird. And I asked Bill, I said, how do I be like you when I grow up? And he said, you volunteer at the Wildlife Center of Virginia. And he took me under his wing, pun intended. And I became an outreach docent. I started volunteering there, and the rest is history. This is what she's playing with. Yeah. All the toys? No, none of the expensive toys. The packaging from my Sephora box. So that is how that started. I ended up having, well, I've had several favorites, but my absolute favorite animal to work with was a great horned owl named Quinn, who is tattooed. A portrait of him is tattooed on my arm here. He passed away a few summers ago. I do have a video of all of the stories of my tattoos. This one's not on it because it hadn't happened yet, but I will try to remember to link that down below. If you search tattoo, it's probably the only video on my channel that comes up that has that word in the title, but I did tell all the tattoo stories of all of my tattoos. But that's how I got started with owls and working with them at the Wildlife Center. This video is going to be like 5 hours long. All right. Do you find that primer is a necessary step for you, or is your sunscreen usually enough? I usually do wear primer, but really it's just because my pores kind of annoy me, and I like to smooth them out, and I like to smooth out my lines. My current favorite primer, it's pretty new to me. I just did a video. I'm digging it out. My vanity is a disaster right now. The Caloray, this one. It's so good. I did just do a video on my favorite pore blurring primers. This one's been the one I've been reaching for. If I'm just doing like a tinted, like I don't have any primer on today, because one of these questions is about the BB cream, the Misha and the Purito BB creams. I might as well talk about that one while we're here. And so when I'm doing light coverage stuff, I usually don't bother with primer, but if I'm doing a full face, I will. I prefer wearing primer. I always wear it under most medium to full coverage foundations, especially in reviews, because otherwise, like, every foundation would get a pretty bad grade because I wouldn't like how it looks on my skin. So yeah, I prefer primer for the most part, unless I'm doing really light coverage. So let's roll into that. Do I still use the Misha or the Purito Cica BB cream? Yes, I do. I figured I'd wear the Misha today. This is the Misha Perfect Cover. Oh, where did I put it? It's over here. Oh, it's probably a mess. It's probably a hot mess because I use this for my swatches when I do foundation reviews, and so the bottle gets super messy because I've always got foundation all over my hands and my arms. But Perfect Cover BB Cream in 21, probably the #1 shade match of my entire life. Is this? I mean, it's like a perfect freaking match for me. Yeah, I still do wear them both. You know me and Cica. Anything with tiger grass. Rawr, love it, love it, love it, love it. That is the Purito Cica BB cream. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. All right. Next one in the personal category. Which fictional characters do you relate to and why? I knew there was a question I wanted to think about ahead of time, so I had an answer. I probably don't have an answer. Like, I did just watch clips from, it was outtakes from The Breakfast Club, and I always identified with Ali Sheedy's character, the Misfit. Uh, so that's the first one that comes to mind. All right, most embarrassing story. This one just kind of like gross and personal, but it was actually in high school, and men that are listening that have no interest in female problems, earmuffs, earmuffs, la 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 la. Yeah, I had a that time of the month moment where everything leaked, and it leaked onto the back of my jeans. And I remember at one point, I don't know why, I was standing on the bus seat to reach over the other back of the seat in front of me, so my butt was right in the face of whoever was behind me. I didn't know this had happened, and then I walked home from the bus stop and realized it was all over the back of my jeans. And then, of course, everyone made fun of me the next day, and I didn't really the rest of the school year. And yeah, I wasn't a cool kid in high school and grammar school. I was one of the nerds, you know, the brainiacs, the nerds. Nobody wants to hang out with the nerds because nerds aren't cool. I wish everybody in the world knew that, guess what? You're cool when you're older, nerds. So hang out there. Stay strong. You're going to be the ones making the money. You're going to be the ones out there doing the things. And there's value in that brain. So, yeah. But that, to this day, is probably the most mortified I've ever been in my life, and nobody let me forget it. What are you going to do? I've been obsessed with feminine hygiene ever since. Most proud achievement. Probably my career, in the sense that I particularly getting into my original career teaching. I was at Prairie State College in Chicago Heights, and I was there for 10 years. And then as I wanted to expand my career, many people told me, oh no, you can't go from a community college to a 4-year school. Nobody will take you seriously. You know, we're not good enough. Blah, blah, blah. Here we are again with the we're not good enough. Oh, there's a Fuzzy. Get out of my face, Fuzzy. There's Ziva. If you want the cat cameo, here you go. She's gonna hang out for a minute, I'm sure. And but I did. I'm now at James Madison University. I've been here for, oh gosh, I'm going on 12 years here. I just can't even fathom that I've been here that long. And yeah, so, and I earned tenure here at JMU. I had made full professor at Prairie State. Then I literally put my resignation like 2 weeks after I made full professor. Then I came here to JMU, and I'm associate rank now. Not gonna bother going for full professor. I just have no interest. But yeah, succeeding in this career is probably the thing that makes me most proud, because oh, I might as well just go off on tangents because we're doing the Q&A thing, right? We had a conversation in one of my classes. I teach web design, coding, web programming, user experience design, web nerd stuff. In Ireland, when I do the study abroad, I teach social media strategy, so that kind of stuff. And we were just having this conversation where students were laughing. I teach, most of my classes are juniors and seniors. I do have one sophomore class that I teach. And so this was in my junior senior class, and they were laughing about how everyone thinks that colleges are indoctrinating students in these mindsets and various things. And I'm like, do you guys want to know what my secret agenda is to indoctrinate all of you? And they're like, what? What are you indoctrinating us with? Because we don't talk politics. We talk code, we talk web, we talk target audience, we talk technology. We don't get into any of the other stuff. No, not going there. I said, here's what I'm indoctrinating all you with. I wish that I had learned this or figured it out or believed it sooner. And if you can believe it any sooner than I did, which was, for me, it was in my 40s, then I will have done my job. And that is that you are good, you are talented, you are worth it, and don't take opinions from people that haven't worn your shoes, aren't in the same arena, battling the same battles as you are. Those opinions don't matter. They don't matter at all. And, you know, that's not to say that you ignore the parts of life where you have to care about other people's evaluations of you, like performance evaluations at your job or your grading in your academic career, you know, earning grades to get a diploma or a degree or whatever you're working toward. So no, you can't completely disregard what other people think of you, but you really should take into consideration the source of the opinions that you are letting affect your mood, your interests, your level of confidence, etc. And if it's not someone that is worthy of contributing to those things to you, no. You go out there, you own it. You own your work, you own what you do, you own your talents, you put yourself out there and just believe that you can do it because you can. And that's what I'm trying to indoctrinate them all with. And they were just like, so, you know, I don't know if it's working. Probably not, because that wisdom tends to come from experience. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that until you've been through it, you probably don't believe it, and you probably can't take it to heart completely, but I hope they do. Anyway. Totally can't remember why I told that story. Yeah, don't know why I told that story. Okay, back to the makeup category. Have you ever been inspired by the makeup in a movie or TV show? I still love the look of Liv Tyler in Lord of the Rings. So do I. Yes and no. I'm not super fashionable. I'm kind of random and weird. So, I mean, my aesthetic is kind of like punk rock meets goth, I guess. It's like my leftover goth kid from the 90s. Alternative. Do they even use that word anymore? I don't even know. Lithium is my favorite channel on SiriusXM. But yes, I think, so here's a project that I've had on my list of things to do for my YouTube channel since I started the thing, and I still haven't done it yet. But I had this list of, it was color palettes from like 100 different movies. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool to do makeup looks from each of those color palettes? Because it was just, I love movies, and I love color schemes, and I love combining color, and I don't believe in any of that, like, you shouldn't wear certain colors after a certain age. Whatever. Yeah, right. No. So, I've wanted to do that. I don't think I've been particularly influenced, like I don't try to look like certain movies or anything. I will probably makeup-wise. Actually, this face that I'm wearing now is probably the only thing I do regularly that is influenced by someone, celebrity, TV, etc. And it's Gwen Stefani. And it's the whole simple eye, red lip. I love that look. It's my quick kind of makeup look. And that's probably the only thing I do on a regular basis that's inspired by some kind of celebrity makeup. But yeah, I still do want. Would you guys want me to do something like that? Like that 100 movie color palettes and do makeup looks from them? Let me know. Maybe that's just some weird thing I have in my head. I don't know if you would enjoy it. Maybe I will do it. Wow, that'd be like 100 different videos. That's crazy town. All right, back down to personal. What is your favorite items of jewelry, if any, to wear? Well, my nose ring is a constant. I don't take it out ever. And probably rings. Well, I like all rings and earrings. I often forget to wear them. Like, I have no rings on right now. I love rings. I have probably 24 nice rings. And I have probably half a dozen of those are colada rings. I get colada rings every time I go to Ireland. I get another one. But I usually forget to put them on. I enjoy earrings. I made these. What the heck, I made it. May as well. This video is sponsored by me and Quirky Creators, my company. We make earrings. We make soap. It's me and my friend Judy is my business partner. She's one of my gaming friends from the gaming guild that I belong to. And we started Quirky Creators a year ago, November. And so we've been in business for a year. We started with soap. We recently added earrings. We're going to be adding Judy's crochet work very soon. We're doing a sales. Wow, since I'm filming and posting this on the same day, Now through December 15th, go to qcsoap.com. We're doing buy 3, get 1 free on soap, bath truffles, and earrings. Most of the earrings are made by me. Judy made a few of the pairs of them. She's been working on her crochet stuff, which we don't have up on the website yet. qcsoap.com. We're also on Etsy under Quirky Creators. Yeah, so there you go. I actually have a lot of necklaces too. I enjoy wearing jewelry. I just usually space out and forget. Part of the problem is that I don't have good jewelry storage that makes it easy for me to access my jewelry. My jewelry's all over the place. Some of it's in my vanity, some of it's in my bedroom, some of it's in my bathroom, like some of it's in my closet. It's all over the place, and that's part of the problem. If I don't see it, I don't wear it. And so yeah, I do have one of those like mirrors that you open it up and it's like a jewelry kind of box in the mirror, like a tall mirror, but it's not big enough because I have a lot of jewelry. Most of it's like just costume jewelry type stuff, but I do have a lot of nice rings that I'm not wearing right now, or hardly ever. Gotta get back into that habit. But yeah, I love jewelry. Jewelry's cool. Back to the makeup. What's your favorite foundation? All right. This is hard to say because I'm going to give you one answer, but it's hard to say because I've reviewed almost 300 foundations. So even if I only pick 1 out of every 10 to be in my favorites that I wear often, that's 30 foundations. So, but the highest rated foundation I've ever worn is this one. I finally bought a second shade for winter so I can wear it all year round. It's the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. The 2 shades I have are Vienna is my summer shade and Yukon is the rest of the year. But anything that's rated an A or higher, A- or higher, is something I will reach for on a very regular basis. And if you go on my website, geekoutofwater.com, click the Foundation Fest link. I have a ranked, sortable, searchable spreadsheet of all of my foundation reviews and the grades and the data from all of them and links back to the original review. So check that out if you find it helpful. So it's like I don't really have one favorite. This would be my go-to if I could only wear one for the rest of my life. It would be this one. But like I have a favorite light coverage. I have a favorite BB cream. I have a favorite full coverage. I have a favorite matte. I have a favorite satin. I have a favorite dewy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I have so many foundations, most people don't have 300 foundations. I realize this. But yeah, I'd say if there's only one, it would be this one. It would be the NARS. Next, what is your favorite book of 2022 or right now? You're going to say, wow, you are boring. I read mostly business books. I mean, I read lots of fiction when I was a kid. Sweet Valley High was one of my favorite series ever. Anne of Green Gables, loved that. I loved Stephen King novels. I haven't read one in a really long time. The Stand is my favorite, though. But now, these days, I primarily read via Audible because I read while I'm driving because I don't have time to sit and read. And so I'm listening to most of my books now. But it's mostly business books and social media strategy and marketing and copywriting. It's mostly business books. But I will say, so here's my favorite book of this year. It's called How to Fight a Hydra by Josh Kaufman, I think his name is. Very short book, and it is a tale. It's like a fictional story of fighting a hydra, but really the purpose of it is how to approach and tackle any big goal or project that you're avoiding, that scares you, that people are discouraging you from, like anything like that. It's I guess you'd call it like a motivational kind of a book, but I have listened to that thing 3 times through. It only takes a couple hours. It's very short. It's absolutely worth the 1 credit on Audible, even though it's very short, because it gives me power. So I highly recommend How to Fight a Hydra if you haven't read that one before. I'm halfway through right now. Matthew Perry's, I guess it's not an autobiography, memoir, I guess you'd call it. Wow, heavy, heavy. I have to like not listen to that every day because that's like, it's heavy. Trigger warning on that one for sure, with addiction issues and things, but it's really, really good. And he's a really good storyteller, and yeah, I'm listening to that one right now. But yeah, How to Fight a Hydra. Listen to that. Anything by Sean Cannell, if you are interested in YouTube and creating videos and being a content creator, his stuff is fantastic. But yeah, very boring to most people. Sorry, I'm a nerd. The whole Geek Out of Water thing, not an accident. Total nerd here. All right, best natural false lashes. I'm not an expert on this because I really just got into wearing lashes. The Kiss Falscara are awesome. They look more natural than what I'm wearing right now. They are easy to apply. You get the hang of it after a couple tries. They're super lightweight, they're super comfortable, and you can wear them for multiple days at a time if you buy the one that's got the overnighter adhesive to it. Now, the ones I'm wearing today I want to talk about because I'm liking this whole thing. These are from Kiss as well. They are new. What does this say? Sister Nature Vegan Mink Lash. Biodegradable lashes that are also cruelty-free. So here is the packaging that they came in. The tray on the inside is a patent pending paper tray. This whole packaging is recyclable. I would even bet that it's probably made from post-consumer waste, but the text is so small I can't read it because, you know, reasons, old eyeballs failing. But yeah, that's what I'm wearing today. I did cut one little cluster of lashes off the ends, which I always have to do because my eyes are just weirdly shaped. But I really like these. They're super easy to apply. They were very, very flexible and bendy. Didn't have any trouble with them popping off in the center. Yep, they're still on. I'm very, very, very pleased with this whole thing that's going on here. I like the lashes. Biodegradable? What? So cool. But yeah, I... Excuse me. Throat is so dry. Winter has been like crushing me with the dryness. I did purchase, and the cat's knocked them off, so I can't get them. You guys, a lot of you had commented that I should try, what is the name of the company? Can I read it from here? I think it was Saint something. Lily? Oh, goodness gracious, I already forgot. I bought it, though. I will try them. I haven't tried them yet. They were another one of the less expensive competitors to Lashify. Okay, next. Do people at your day job know about your YouTube channel? Do you get compliments all the time at work about how beautiful your makeup looks? Oh, I hope I'm not coughing through this whole thing. My throat is so dry. Ziva's back. Most of my colleagues know about my YouTube channel. Some of my students know. I don't think any of them watch me. At least not regularly. And I don't get... I get occasional comments about my makeup, but I don't think often, really. Maybe they're just used to seeing me wearing it. But I do get a lot of people asking for skin product advice and makeup product advice. So there's that. You ever feel like someone's watching you? What are we doing now? What? No. Stay there. This is Ziva. So, yeah. They know about it, but I don't think anyone really cares. Please don't. I'm trying to film a video right now. Please. Oh my goodness. Okay, back up to only a few left. All right, we're getting to the end. It's going to be like an hour-long video. How did you get into makeup, or when did it become your passion? I've always loved eye makeup. So, like, through the high school and the 90s, I was black eyeliner, winged out, lots of mascara, brown lipstick, end of story. I've always enjoyed eye makeup. I didn't wear a lot of color back then, but when I got into my late 30s and my sun damage started showing up, especially on the driving side of my face from not wearing sunscreen, when I had an hour-long commute to work and back every single day, that's when I got into foundation, because I used to get made fun of as a kid for my freckles, and I still can't stand them because of that. And when I started getting sun damage, which basically looks like freckles, but only on this side of my face, it just re-traumatized me, and I wanted to make it go away. So I started looking into different foundations, which it can be a struggle when you are dry skinned. My skin's always dehydrated. And also I was not 20 years old, which goes back to why did I start a YouTube channel? So yeah, it was probably 10 years ago I got a lot more into makeup, where I was looking at foundations and looking at other face complexion makeup and getting beyond eye looks. And then as I started watching more and more YouTube channels and they were doing more makeup looks, things like that, I got more and more and more into trying out all different things. I would recommend, if you don't wear makeup and you want to, this is how I did it. I would basically practice a full face of makeup. I would follow along a tutorial or play around right before I went to bed, because then there's zero stakes. You're about to wash it off anyway. So it doesn't matter if you mess up. You're probably not going to be seen by anyone because you're about to go to bed. So the only person that's going to see you is whoever's in your household. So that it's like no stakes. There's no risk there. It's not like you're getting ready for work and you're scared to mess it up because you'll have to go wearing up a messed up face all day or anything like that. No, nothing to worry about in your head. So then you're more free to experiment, try new things, see what you like, find your preferences. And that's how I did it. And then I would just wash my face and go to bed. So yeah, probably the last 10 years I've been pretty seriously into makeup. Before that, it was pretty much just eye makeup, and I did pretty much the same thing all the time. And dun-dun-dun, where besides the US and Ireland do you want to travel? I have always had Australia on my bucket list. I totally want to go to Australia. I also... Oh, don't fall down, Ziva. She's clumsy like me. I want to do the glass train that goes across Canada, and I guess a couple of the cars are like surround glass, so you can just see out everywhere. That looks amazing. Also is way too expensive. Like, I can't afford it, but I want to do it. It's on my bucket list. Actually, there's a lot of things in Canada I want to do. I still need to get to the NHL Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. I still would really like to do a West Coast Canadian trip, because I want to like go to Vancouver and see a hockey game, and then like hit up Calgary, or is it Ottawa? No, I think it's Calgary's over there. Ottawa's on the other side, right? My Canadian geography is bad, but I know the entire Canadian national anthem. I probably could sing it even better than the Star Spangled Banner. It's not true. I can sing the whole Star Spangled Banner. Well, I can't sing it. I'm a terrible singer, especially those very, very, very high notes. But I do know the entire Canadian national anthem in English. I don't speak French. I took French in 4th grade, but all I remember how to say is "Je m'appelle Shelly" and "Où est la bouffe?" Because those Wendy's commercials where they said "Where's the beef?" That's what was happening when I was learning French. Dating myself now. You remember all those things? Yup, old. So yeah, clearly I have some Canadian traveling to do. I still need to go to London. Haven't been to London yet. I would like to go to Scotland. That's on my list too. A lot of European things I would like to just hopscotch around. Amsterdam. I really like to go to Amsterdam. So I would like to hop around Europe, and I really want to go to Australia. Good day, mate. I can't do accents. I don't know why I even try. Back up to the makeup. Almost done. What is your absolute favorite eyeshadow palette or formula? All right. I have bougie eyeshadow taste, you guys. But I also can... like anything else, if it's good, I kind of don't care what it costs. Is it cheap? Yay. Is it expensive? That's fine. If I love it, I love it. And I'm willing to pay for things I love, whatever that price is. To a certain limit, because I'm a teacher. We don't make a lot of money. But, so my favorite eyeshadows, of course, are Pat McGrath and Natasha Denona. But I would say my other favorite is ColourPop. So, and I just saw they have a new Aurora something collection. It looked pretty gorgeous. And I need to look at it more. It was a Facebook ad that I was scrolling past. I was like, oh, what? What am I missing? But yeah, so like if you look right here, which you can't because I can't move my camera. But these are the ones my reach for. So the new Pat McGrath is hiding under here. So is the new Mothership that I got, but it's buried. I'm scared. This is the other Pat McGrath Mega. Then I've got two Natasha Denonas. I have the new Glam palette. I've got the Retro palette. And then the other two that are here in my reachable area are both ColourPop and Alter Ego. Alter Ego makes my favorite dupes for high-end palettes. And I love them for travel because then I don't have to worry about the super expensive ones getting busted up. Or if it's a color scheme that I'm not super in love with, I have to put everything back now. It's the only thing that I keep organized is my little eyeshadow thing over here. This hot mess. That little thing, very organized. But, like, if there's a high-end palette that I'm like, I'm not so sure about the color story. I don't want to spend $125 on that one. But then Alter Ego dupes it out. Oh, brilliant! It's less than 20 bucks, and their quality's fantastic. I've done a bunch of side-by-sides with Alter Ego palettes on my channel. They usually do send them to me now in PR. Thank you, Alter Ego. I love you. Random tangent here since we're going like for the hour-long video anyway. I don't take a lot of PR, and I take even fewer sponsored opportunities because I basically don't want to do a video for money if it's not something I already know that I love. Because there's no value to them being any company, paying me to say something sucks. I would, if they don't give me an opportunity to decide before we agree on something if I like it or not, because if I don't, then I don't want payment for anything. I'm still going to tell you guys what I think. But so I just don't do a lot with any kind of paid opportunities. Science Serum is a brand that I completely am behind and support. I've used them for years. But that's also kind of how companies find me. I'll do a bunch of videos on their product. Like I had made 2 years worth of videos on Science Serum products, the Bright and Tight. Well, it was Tie-Dye in the beginning and Bright and Tight now. And then they found me from that. So it's kind of like, yeah. Alter Ego had reached out and sent me some PR way back when. I love their products. I don't do a lot of dupe companies. Really, Alter Ego is the only one that has stood the test of time for me. And I'm glad they're back. They disappeared for a little while. I was nervous. I thought they might have gone away. But this is their most recent one, a dupe for the Natasha Denona. It's beautiful. I love it. Anyway. So as far as paid videos, anytime someone sends me something in PR and I'm making a video with it, I tell you that. And I really don't have sponsored videos except for Science Serum on occasion. Excuse me. And even that's been a while. So yeah, I'm not going to do it if I don't already love it, which, then then I run the risk of people saying, well, how come you love all the things you do when they're sponsored? It's like, well, yeah, because I don't accept sponsorships unless I already know I love it. Because I just don't want to take money from someone and then tear their product apart. Like, that just doesn't feel good to me. I'm choking. All right. I think I had one more question. Hold on. Yep, one more. Last one. Did you always want to teach at the college level, and how did you decide on your field of study? All right, let's do these in reverse. My field of study was my whole life is kind of an accident. Literally, actually. I'm pretty sure I was an unplanned pregnancy. My mom was 19, my dad was 20 when I was born, so I'm pretty sure that was not planned. It worked out great. They were married for 25 years before my dad died. Everything was a happy, happy life. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm sure that is not the typical story. Yeah, my whole life is probably an accident, but field of study, so I've been into computers since I was a little kid. 10 years old, my dad brought home the first computer that he let me play with, that he let me use. He had other computers at home first. His job was always somewhat technology based. And so I was exposed to computers before anyone had them in their house. Like, my first computer was a Commodore VIC-20. My second computer was a Commodore 64. When I was 16 years old, I got my first job, and I actually got my first job at 15, but let's not talk about that. 16, my parents let me buy my first IBM compatible computer, and they put it on a credit card that had no balance, and so then I made the monthly payments for that computer. At the time, it was like $3,600, or like, it was insane. I'm pretty sure I never paid it off. I think they did, because, yeah. But I've been into computers like forever, and way before my friends were ever into computers, before they were a household thing. Most schools would only have one Apple computer that the whole school had access to, like, way back when. So I've always been into computers. And when I got to college, I was like, I don't want to study computers because I don't want to hate the thing that I love so much. Which is funny. It says a lot about what my parents did for a living, because I thought you had to hate your job. And I don't think my parents hated their jobs, but they were both blue-collar workers. My mom was a first-generation college student, but I was the first-generation college graduate in this realm. So I don't think they hated their jobs, but their lack of love for their jobs, I think, made me think as a child that you don't love your job. So I didn't want to do anything with computers because I thought that would make me hate it. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But when I was in college, I was doing my undergrad, bachelor's degree, and I was a business administration major. So I was doing a lot of like international accounting. For a while, I thought I wanted to be an accountant. That was my career choice. I also wanted to be a lawyer for a while. I wanted to be a pharmacist for a while. I love chemistry. But as I was getting into my senior year, my guidance counselor had said, hey, you're only 3 credits away from a minor in computer information systems. Because I was taking all the computer coding classes for electives just to round out my schedule. And she said, you've almost got the CIS minor, like, in the bag. So I was like, all right, I'll take another class. So that's how I ended up getting my business administration degree in computer information systems, which that kind of set me up. As soon as I finished my undergrad, I moved halfway across the country to New Jersey and could not find a job to save my life. I did 38 interviews in a month, and basically everyone said, you have no internship experience, you have no job experience. I mean, I worked in pizza places and gas stations because those were the best college jobs, because in your downtime you could do your homework. So I worked full-time while I was going to college. Well, yeah, couldn't find a job, so I was managing a video game store in the mall when I got my first break in the industry, which as a network administration job. So I was fixing computers, building computers, putting networks together. So really my dad was my inspiration to get into computers. And the funny thing about my specialty, which is basically the internet, the technology of the internet, building websites, social media, like the internet is my specialty in my professional life. And I was never formally trained in the internet. Like I said, my undergrad degree was CIS. It did have some internet components to it, and I did some computer networking in that degree, but it wasn't a majority of my program. And my master's is in education, and my MFA is in independent film and photography. So I really never, all my web programming was completely self-taught. So then how did I end up as a teacher? Well, in community college, so I did community college for 2 years, then I did transferred to a 4-year school, got my bachelor's. And in the community college, I had 2 different accounting professors. Like I said, I was an accounting major for a hot minute. 2 different CPAs who were full-time CPAs, had full-time businesses, and they taught part-time because they loved teaching. And it was so different from other teachers that I had. And so back then, I said to myself, if I ever, get a degree in something, or I'm ever working somewhere where I have like the option to do the same kind of thing, to teach part-time, I want to teach part-time. Like, I want to be that person who has this career, but then also teaches part-time. And so that's how I knew I wanted to teach. I've always loved teaching anyway, like helping people and sharing knowledge and showing people how to do things. Like, I've done that ever since I was a little kid. And I also love office supplies, which fits well in this career. So that was always kind of a plan. And when I moved out to New Jersey after I finished college, I was working at the mall and I was trying to get a part-time teaching gig. I was just putting in my application here and there and just trying to get a part-time job teaching. And I finally did, and it was teaching web programming. And it was funny because the recruiter called me and said, I know you're trying to get a job teaching network administration, because I was MCSE, Microsoft certified. I had all the CompTIA certifications, A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, yada, yada, yada. Any nerds out there know what I'm talking about? So I had all those. I was MCSE on Windows NT4 with Internet Information Services. And this was back in the late 90s. We are way back now. So I'm late 90s. I'm on the East Coast. And they said, I know you're trying to teach, the MCSE and network administration stuff, but I see that you do some web development. Would you be interested in teaching any of that? And I said, oh, but I don't have a degree in that. That's all self-taught. And they're like, it doesn't matter. You have a degree. That's all we care. And I said, okay. So my very first class, they were trying to finish out a bunch of stragglers in a degree program that had been discontinued, and it was 7 students, and I was teaching PHP and MySQL. And it was absolutely life-changing. I absolutely loved every second of it. I then ended up getting a full-time teaching job, and I've been a teacher ever since. I did freelance website stuff for many years. I did freelance photography for many years. I haven't done that since I moved here. When I came here, I said, I'm a little old, little tired for the freelancing grind. Dealing with people in that capacity was no longer on my list of things I wanted to do. So I haven't done any freelancing since then. I went more of the business building entrepreneurial route. But that's kind of how I got into teaching and how I got into computers and how I ended up where I am today. I love the internet. I absolutely love all of this. So back in college, we're in my undergrad, I have one lost semester of my life. It does not show up on any of my resumes. I don't put it in any of my portfolios or anything. I went to Illinois State University for 1 semester. I finished my associate's degree at the community college, went to ISU, and I had this one class on web programming, and it was all about the internet. I had never met the internet before. This was fall of 1994, going into 95, I believe. And I became obsessed with the internet. I lived on the internet. That's how I learned to drink my soda warm, because getting up from the computer was a distraction. So I would keep a case of soda, the case of soda next to my desk. I know we just passed an hour because this thing times out every half hour. Whoa. You know I can talk. This is the last one anyway. And that is where I fell in love with the internet. We still used dot matrix printers back then. The kind that had the dots, the holes on the side that it ran through like a tractor wheel, and you had to tear them off at the end like they were perforated. Oh my God. We are so deep in the geek right now. If you are still with me and you're nerding out, like, nerd out, my friends. Nerd out. I used to sit there on ISU's campus and I would print out just reams of paper of song lyrics, primarily REM song lyrics. I still have some of them. That's how I got on the internet. I started making web pages. Yeah, that's how this all happened. That's how I ended up a YouTube creator, because you basically combine the internet plus my dad was like an amateur photographer, which is how I got into photography, which led to videography through my MFA, because I had to do this hybrid program. They made us all do both sides of it. So I was a photography major, but I had to do the independent film part as well, just like the film majors had to do a little bit of photography. So I mean, and that's how I started YouTube, because I was like, well, I already have all this studio equipment. I was doing portrait photography, and it all comes full circle. And that is how I ended up here. There you have it. Yeah. There's your Q&A. Thank you for sending in questions. If you're still with me, drop me like a penguin emoji or something. Is there a penguin emoji? I don't even know. Self-proclaimed internet expert here doesn't even know if there's a penguin emoji. I think it really looks more like a bird. I can't think of a penguin emoji. I'm not sure. You know. Whatever. That's all I got. That's all my answers. I think I've covered everything. Thanks for sending in questions. If you think of more questions, drop them in the comments. I will start a document of another list of questions and hopefully do one sooner than waiting all this time in between Q&A videos. Maybe next time I'll just go live and do live Q&A. Would you like that? Let me know. Let me know down below. As always. Oh, excuse me again. Drinking soda. I know, I'm a hot mess today. I'm just a hot mess. We're in the middle of retail season. It's finals week. I have not had a weekend off. I've been hawking my wares at the mall every weekend through November and December. And we got one more weekend to go before Christmas. And I'm exhausted. But it's all good. It's all good. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over me. I appreciate your time, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.